everyone, I'm Jenny. I'm with the Impressionist Garden, and I'm gonna be going over the seeds that I sow every year. And some of the first ones that I work on are my viola and pansies. And the reason I do these is because I have a large garden that I like to plant every spring with my tulips. I have a big tulip show every year. And what I'm doing is putting annuals in between to kind of fill the gaps. It can become pretty costly. Some of the seeds that I'm going to be starting today is, this one is Sorbet True Blue, and it's a really nice vibrant blue. It's a really good viola. That one with the colors that I choose for my front yard, I like that really vibrant blue and the pale yellows and the baby pinks. And I also have XP Delft Blue, and these are from Johnny's Seeds. My other ones that I got, Swallowtail Garden. These are seeds that I collected, so this is going to be a little experiment to see if this works. Admire White Viola. I had a bunch of those that I bought in the fall, and I noticed there were seeds on them, and I was like, well, I will just collect those seeds and give it a try. This is a blue and white pansy, and that was another one that I love. It's got kind of a yellow center. I'll find a picture and put it up on the screen for you. I've done these for about 5 years, and that's Lisianthus. And I know it can be a challenging flower because they're very slow growing and they're very small when you put them out into the ground. But I've had pretty good luck being able to take care of them. I did one year have the damping off happen to some, but not all of them. One really interesting thing is I have quite a few Lisianthus out in my raised bed that are they still look okay, like they're still alive. I think what happens is we end up getting really dry here in Kansas, and then the cold and the dry wind ends up drying my raised beds out, and if I don't get out there soon enough to give it water, if I forget about it, I think that's why they don't make it. But other than that, I think if I could figure out how to just cover them really good, I think I could actually get some of my Lisianthus to come back, because that would be nice, because I don't want to have to sow all these. They are very time consuming. They're kind of the little divas a little bit, but I like that challenge. That's one of the reasons I love gardening is because I like the challenge. Well, anyways, these are the ones that I'm gonna do. It's Echo Blue Lisianthus, Chroma 3 Red Lisianthus. I have not grown these two. Usually I grow the Arena 3. Usually I grow Arena 3 Red. That is, I'll put a picture up. That is so pretty. It's not a true red. It's more of like a deep rose pink. And it's absolutely gorgeous, especially as a cut flower or just seeing it out in your garden. It's beautiful. I love cutting that one and mixing it with the white and the pinks and especially that vibrant blue. Okay, so the other one I have is Echo Champagne Lisianthus, Echo White Lisianthus, Echo Pink Lisianthus, Echo Lavender Lisianthus. Oh, and I love this Mariachi Pure White. It looks like a little white rose. It's so pretty. That's all. Oh, Quicksilver Louis. These kitties are British short-haired kitties, and they're a year old, and so they're just very curious. And this is the first time they've actually seen me doing seeds, so they're very curious about it. Every year I grow way too many seeds. I don't know if any of you are guilty of that, but I tend to do too many, and then I can't up pot them fast enough because my spring is so busy when I'm outside cleaning up and getting everything ready to go, and I've got an explosion of weeds that I've got to try to take care of since we live in a woodland area, and the tree seeds we have redbud tree seedlings pop up everywhere, and they're just kind of a nightmare to pull out of the ground and get that all taken care of. And that's all happening when I've got these little seedlings, and I've got to take them outside, and I've got to put them, get them ready for hardening them off to get ready to put outside. Our last frost date isn't until, I think, April 15th, and we are about, I think, 12 degrees today, so it's pretty darn cold. If it's a nice day during the wintertime, I will actually take these seeds outside and do it outside if it's about 60 or 55. Not today. But anyways, I will start doing my name tags, and then I will get started on filling my trays. First, you gotta moisten the soil, and I've used this handy little container here, and I think I'm gonna put down a mat just to keep my table somewhat clean, and I'll go ahead and get started. The things I wanted to go over with the seed starting is to make sure that you read the instructions of what it tells you of how much light or if it needs darkness to germinate. For example, violas and pansies actually need darkness to germinate. They won't germinate under lights or heat mats. You don't want to use heat mats because they're a cool flower. Just make sure that you read the instructions on the package, because every manufacturer is different, and every flower seed is usually pretty different. It varies. The instructions for Lisianthus is sow in cell packs or flats, press into the soil, barely cover. So I'll just lightly cover it with like a little bit of vermiculite. It needs light and warmth to germinate, kept at 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Germination usually takes 10 to 20 days. Do not direct sow. For the violas, the instructions are sow in the cell packs, gently press into the soil and barely cover, needs darkness to germinate. Cover flat with newspaper, avoid direct sun or light. Remove the paper as soon as germination happens, and then provide direct light as soon as flat seeds begin to sprout. Usually it's about 65 degrees. I'm also using these garden markers. These are so the markers don't rinse off outside. I have used Sharpies before, and they actually do not work. You end up losing the name towards a month or two. The name starts to wear off. So these garden markers actually work pretty well, and I get them off of Amazon. I also get my tags off Amazon. I use gloves because my hands are really dry in the wintertime, and when I'm working with soil, it starts to break the skin starts to get really dry and peely, and I'm already dealing with that anyways, so I'm using gloves now. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 flats. Hopefully that's enough. We'll see. When you fill the seed cells up, you want to make sure to just loosely fill them and not fill them to where they're too compact. But still, you want to make sure that they're at the soil goes to the bottom. And I got these from Bootstrap Farmer, and they're air pruning cells. And why I like that is because sometimes I can't get to my seedlings as quickly as they grow. So I like the air pruning because it keeps the roots from overgrowing and just getting too much to deal with. I don't know, I've had pretty good luck with these. I like them quite a bit. I like sitting at my kitchen table doing this because it's just easier on my back. I can put my seed cells in here and just comfortably sit here and then load all the soil up. Okay, finished with this tray, and I got vermiculite on it. That is going to help with the moisture and mold that might develop on top. And I'm going to go put these in a cool, dry spot down in the basement, about hopefully 65 degrees. And then we will check back and see if I get any germination. Let's cross our fingers and hope. Also, if you have any questions about seed starting, or if you're new to seed starting, leave a comment down below and let me know, or just ask a question and I'll answer your question. Just to keep the moisture in. Okay, so this tray is for my Lisianthus, and the instructions for Lisianthus is just basically surface sowing it. I'm gonna put vermiculite on top. It needs to go on a heat mat kept at 80 degrees, and germination happens between 10 to 20 days. It does take a little while, but it's worth it. You'll see little tiny sprouts, and they will stay tiny for a very long time. They'll stay tiny for a couple of months, and it's best to make sure they're not overwatered and best to make sure they're not underwatered. There's kind of a happy medium. I think once they get to a certain size, they do pretty well. I usually just make sure the soil does not completely dry out, because if the soil completely dries out, then they struggle. But you also don't want to keep it too overly watered, because then you'll have an issue where it's dampening off, and there is also a fungal disease that Lisianthus can get. And I've not ever had that, but I have had them dampen off before. Luckily, it wasn't my entire batch that I started, but Lisianthus is tricky, but I like it. The flowers are so beautiful. I only try to add 1 to 2 seeds per cell. Some of the past times I've done it, it's just, they're not easy to transplant. So for me, I just like to make sure I just put 1 in each cell, and then that way I don't have to separate them, because Lisianthus does not do well separating them. It's just easier to do it this way. I usually tend to overseed, and then it gets really tricky, because then I've got to separate them out, and I'm getting better to where I don't overseed. But for some reason I just think, oh, well, what if it doesn't come up? But that's not always the case. So, and then I just lightly press it in. So you want to make sure that you have good contact with the seed and the soil. That's really important also. Well, I'm finished up with this flat. I just need to finish putting vermiculite on it. I'm going to mist it, put it on the heat mat downstairs, and then under the grow lights to keep it at 80 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and sow the rest of these, the Echo Champagne Lisianthus and the Arena Red, and I'll do the geraniums in probably in another flat, because I have other geranium varieties that I need to go through. Okay, well, I'm finished with my seeds. I think I'm gonna do these others tomorrow. It's been a long day, but thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope this helped you in some way, or if anything, entertained you during this cold weather. And we're all wanting to get back out to our gardens, and I know I've been dreaming of all of my designs, but If you like this video, give me a like. If you want to subscribe, I would love to have you join my community, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye. Where's Samson?